Hello everyone, and many thanks for taking a look at this video introduction to the Fine Art BA Honours programme at Liverpool Hope University. My name's David Ogle, I'm a lecturer in Fine Art at Liverpool Hope, and this presentation is going to be a little bit of an overview of the Fine Art programme that will hopefully give you some insight into what it's like to study here with us. So, Fine Art at Hope is situated within the School of Creative and Performing Arts, and teaching takes place on Liverpool Hope's Creative Campus. Now, this is the university's city centre location. It's about 10 minutes walk from Lime Street Station. And this is a campus that is dedicated to art subjects. So, alongside fine art, we have things like dance and theatre, music, graphics. All of these different creative disciplines working side by side, and the hope is that they'll learn from and collaborate with each other. So there's a little video here showing you what the campus looks like and showing you some of the facilities and resources that we have here for our students. Also on the campus, we have the Capstone Theatre and the Cornerstone Art Gallery, with a regular programme of different performances, exhibitions, events, workshops, talks, all of these things happening throughout the year. So there's always some kind of creative activity to take part in while you're studying with us. So teaching on the fine art programme is kind of broken down into three main components. You have studio practice, art and design history, and professional practice. Now, studio practice, this is you in the studio developing your own creative work, working either on group projects or your independent projects, one-to-one tutorials with tutors, or doing group crits where all the students go around the studios and you talk to each other about what you're working on. Art and design history, this is the theoretical or contextual element of the programme. So this is about learning the history of creative practices and how these might inform and allow you to better contextualize your own creative work. These are delivered through a series of lectures throughout the 3 years, alongside smaller group tutorials. And finally, the professional practice component, which is about taking what you're doing in the studios or in your studies and applying these to real-world professional activities, both during your time at university and after graduation. So doing things like putting on your own exhibitions and developing a career as a practicing artist. Things like looking into different career pathways for after graduation. Establishing yourself as a professional artist or working in the wider creative industries. And we have fantastic partnerships with the creative industries in Liverpool. Organisations like Tate Liverpool and National Museums Liverpool, having speakers come in from these organisations and taking you out to exhibitions and events, really enhancing your learning experiences. So maybe what would be good to do now is to take a little look at how the 3 years of the programme are structured and what you'll be learning during your time on the course. So, studio practice at year 1 is all about exploration and experimentation, introducing you to a range of different ways of working, different mediums and materials and processes that you can take forward with you throughout the rest of the degree programme. So these will cover things like painting, sculpture, sound art, drawing, installation work, working out in public space. And the programme is structured around a series of project briefs that you'll be responding to, encouraging you to explore these different material areas and gain some skills and experience in working in different ways. Also, in your studio work, you'll be producing journals that document these experiments and developments within your creative practice. A personal journal that talks about how your work is evolving and how different forms of creative practice and artists are informing the work. And a contextual journal that looks at the wider creative landscape and allows you to reflect upon a wide range of different kinds of creative practice. You'll have many opportunities here to develop a range of technical skills through specialist induction sessions in things like wood, metal, plaster, print, colour theory, stretcher making, 3D modelling, and a range of digital processes, and some more modern techniques such as 3D printing and fabrication. And we'll speak a little bit later on about some of the facilities that we have on the campus for progressing this kind of work. In Year 1, you'll also be starting the Art and Design History component. And this begins with a chronological lecture series introducing you to the key events, styles and movements in the history of art and design. You'll also be looking at contemporary practices and having guest lecturers from within the university and outside coming in to discuss different current perspectives on art practice. The range of issues that artists are addressing today and the different kinds of methodologies they're using to explore these. Moving into the second year, you're becoming increasingly independent and autonomous in your creative work. So taking these experiences from the first year, your studio practice will become increasingly self-directed. Working closely with tutors in the studios, you'll be thinking about what ideas you'd like to explore through your work and experimenting with different ways of addressing these through your practice. In this year, you will also begin the professional practice module. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is about taking the work from the studios and using this to develop professional public-facing outcomes. So, as part of this module, you'll be going out into the city and staging an exhibition of your own work, doing things like negotiating a venue, running an opening night, running a marketing campaign for your show. This is always a really exciting project, and maybe the first time that the public have been able to engage with your work. As part of this module, you'll also be looking at potential career pathways for after graduation, and how to establish yourself as a practicing artist, how to transition into a wide variety of different career pathways. Within the Art and Design History component for this year, you'll be introduced to the processes of academic research, and this will be done through a range of special topics, covering a range of different issues that will deepen your understanding of art and design history. Things like propaganda and persuasion in visual and material culture, or national identity and post-colonialism. These broader social and cultural issues will be explored and done so through the lens of art history and creative practice. Finally, moving on to the third year, you will now be beginning to establish a more advanced, independent studio practice. The year will focus on refining down your creative work, continuing to explore and develop your ideas leading up to the final degree show, which is a large exhibition of all the students presenting their work within the Arts Centre on campus as a public exhibition and the final outcome of your body of work. Through studio research, you'll also be demonstrating an engagement with international contemporary art and increasingly placing yourself in that context. The hope by this point is that you're really coming to regard yourself as an emerging practicing artist and engaging with the range of creative activity that's taking place nationally and internationally. Alongside this, in the third year, you'll also be beginning the Advanced Professional Practice module, which for this third year is all about making preparations for after graduation, putting yourself in the strongest possible position to gain the kind of opportunities that you want after you leave university. So you'll be looking into your individual career pathways, working with tutors to see how you might put things in place to transition into work after graduation. You'll also be looking at things like how to document your work to a high professional editorial standard and put together things like exhibition proposals and applications to art prizes and open call exhibitions, giving you all the tools and skills that you need to start out in your career as a professional practicing artist. This year in art history, alongside modules focused on contemporary curatorship and aesthetics, you'll also be undertaking a special independent research project of your own. This is an extended piece of academic writing, around 5,000 words, that will really give you the scope to explore a particular issue or idea, with the idea that this should relate to or reflect your studio practice in some way, that there'll be a reciprocal relationship between the two things, that these investigations and explorations in art history will allow you to articulate the ideas in your own work more succinctly and effectively. So that's a little overview of the 3 years of the Fine Art programme and how this develops. More information on all of these elements can be found on Hope's website under the Curriculum tab on the Fine Art page. So do take a look at that to gain some more information on each of these modules and components discussed here. So let's look now at some of the facilities and resources that we have at the university to help you to progress this work. So every student in fine art will have their own personal studio space. This is something that you can take over and completely make your own, and it's where you'll be based for most of the time. And the studio environment is really important. Being around people, developing their work and having conversations with fellow students and tutors, and this continual feedback and reflection on your work, it's really valuable. We also have a wide range of different workshop production facilities, some of which I've already mentioned, things like wood, metalwork, printmaking, textiles, large ceramic facility, a wide range of different material areas on the campus that you can utilise throughout your time on the programme. This is alongside a range of digital facilities, as well as camera equipment for sound and video recording, anything you might need. Also, all of the fine art tutors are all practicing artists, each with their own individual areas of specialism, whether that's painting or drawing or sculpture or installation work. So you'll always have someone within the studios with a real specialism in the areas of work that you're interested in pursuing as part of your own practice. Equally, we have a fantastic range of technical teams. They're here to assist in the production of your work and help you to realise your creative ideas, however kind of ambitious and crazy and out there these might be. And we really want you to be ambitious and to be experimental in the way that you approach and use these facilities. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we have a very well-established visiting artist program and an artist in residence program. So we'll continue to be having creative practitioners from around the world coming to campus, demonstrating and talking through their practice, and working with you in the studios. So getting these kind of outside perspectives and giving you a little bit of further insight into the kinds of creative practices that are taking place internationally and how artists are working today. I should also mention here the significance of being based in Liverpool for the study of fine art. Now, Liverpool is home to more museums and galleries than any other city in the UK outside of London, and we have such a range of different cultural organisations and events that there is always something to get involved with. From smaller scale, artist-led, independent galleries up to international cultural institutions like the Tate and Liverpool Biennial. So we're very well catered for, and we really make the best use of being in a city with this amount of creative activity going on. In terms of where the programme might take you after graduation, many of our recent graduates have transitioned into lecturing, teaching, things like art therapy, working within cultural organisations in curatorial roles, setting up their own studios and gallery spaces. undertaking artist residencies nationally and internationally, and really establishing themselves as practicing artists. A significant number of Hope students also move on after the program to postgraduate study on some really high-profile programs. And particularly in your final year of study, there's a real emphasis on supporting you into that next stage of your development. So let's hear now from one of our students working in the studios and quickly reflecting on her experiences on the fine art program and what she values about studying here at Hope.
I'm Saffron Ashworth, a third year fine art student. When I first came for my interview here, the entire environment just felt really welcoming. The tutors were fantastic to me, the students and student ambassadors really encouraged me, and the facilities also really attracted me. I'm doing the Fine Art BA Honours course here at Hope and I adore it.
And lastly, let's look at some of the extracurricular opportunities that you can take part in as part of the fine art program. So these include things like field trips to a range of different cultural organisations across the Northwest, participating in conferences, seminars and lectures from guest speakers coming to the campus, and the regular program of cultural activities that take place on the Creative Campus, things like the Angel Field Festival. This is a large interdisciplinary arts festival that takes place every year that students and staff can participate in. And we have a wide range of different artists, performers, musicians, visual artists coming to campus, presenting their work, and also working with you in the studios. We also offer a number of international study trips across the program, and these offer great opportunities to immerse yourself in the culture of another city and bring back experiences that will further inform your studio projects. So thanks again, everyone, for taking the time to listen to this presentation, and I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight into the fine art program and what it's like to study here with us. If you'd like any further information on fine art at Hope, then please visit the university's website on the fine art course page, where all of the elements of the program that I've discussed are broken down in a lot more detail. If you'd like to get in touch, please use the email address here, and your inquiries will be forwarded to the relevant member of staff in the department. Thanks again, everyone, and I look forward to hearing from some of you and potentially working with you in the near future. Thanks. Bye-bye.